Namaskaram, everyone. A very good evening to all of you, and thank you for joining in. Please do send us your name and send us a hi so we know you're here. We are here joining in for a very, very special episode of the Ask the Master series. Here, you're going to be learning a lot of wisdom related to remedying constipation, an issue we see very rampant in today's times. So, thank you once again, and please do share this link with as many people as you can. You can share the URL and send it across to all your groups so that maximum people can be benefited. So, just to give you a little background about what this entire topic is going to entail. Now, in traditional sciences, as we all know, in Ayurveda, Siddha medicine, anytime you go to an Ayurvedic or a Siddha doctor, the first thing that they will do is to purge your colon. It is very essential that your colon remains clean because the headquarter of most diseases is supposed to be an unclean colon. And not only that, but an unclean colon and psychological disturbances are very interlinked. So in yoga, we say that anything which is not a part of you should not be within you, if you want your energies to move upwards. Because we've said this, anytime when you sit in an asana or when you assume a certain yogic posture, there is a certain upward ascendance of energy that begins to happen. And for that to happen, any kind of blockages should be removed. So it becomes very essential that your colon is clean. So I have some statistics with me. When we look at the incidence of constipation in today's time, we see that 2 in 10 people are suffering from constipation. And it is seen to be far greater in urban cities in comparison to rural. 50% of the people report that they have some kind of constipation. If we look at the Western statistics, North America alone, the rates of chronic constipation are approximately 63 million people suffering from it. About 75% of people are using laxatives. 75% is a huge number. Constipation is also seen to be greater in women in comparison to men. Unfortunately, even children these days are reporting issues of constipation. So in today's segment, let's look at this topic. Through the course of all our programs, so many of you have written into us talking about your lives and how debilitated you feel with constipation. So in this session, we wish to address all the queries. We wish to seek a resolution and solution for anything that you may be witnessing when it comes to constipation. This episode is also going to have live question and answers. So please keep sending in your live question and answers. We'll be taking them up. We'll try to do as many as we can. And if you wish, once again, for your friends and family to be a part of this program, please send them the link and let's have their questions coming in as well. Now, I would like to extend our warmest welcome to Dr. Bhavana Madhusudan from Mysore. Dr. Bhavana was born and raised in Mysore and has been in the field of Ayurveda since 18 years now. She also teaches theoretical aspects of Ayurveda and yoga to the yoga teachers training students at different yoga shalas, including the Bharat Swabhiman Trust in association with the Patanjali Yoga Peeth. Dr. Bhavana has written various health articles for local magazines and newspapers and has many success studies of treating infertility, epilepsy, hypothyroidism, PCOS, bronchitis, degenerative disorder, paralysis, and lifestyle disorders. Bhavana Akka, you have been such a pillar when it comes to spreading Ayurvedic wisdom within our organization, within this enterprise, and it's finally a privilege to meet you and to do this session with you. Thank you so much for coming and for gracing us.
Thank you so much.
So, kickstarting, kickstarting this program. Please do keep typing in your questions. Please, you have the chat box. If you're connected with us on YouTube, please ensure that you are typing in any kind of question that you may have, and I'll be taking them up through the course of this program. Now, Dr. Bhavana, just, we were discussing before this program began that in the internet I was reading the definition of constipation, and it said that if you pass fewer than 3 stools a week, then you are constipated. I mean, that was the benchmark. If you pass fewer than 3 stools a week, then you are constipated. Now, I find this very appalling because our traditional sciences have kept stressing on the fact that the bowels should be empty ideally 2 times a day. If not
Yes.
2 times a day, then at least once a day, especially within the first 20 minutes of waking up. So, doctor, can you please dwell on this aspect and also talk about some of the downsides of this tendency when it comes to attracting various kind of ailments, including the chronic ones?
Yes. As you said, first, very first, I just thank you and your team to be a part of this program. I'm really very much honored to be a part of this program. Okay. So coming to the topic, as I said, constipation has various definitions. In general, what do you think if somebody tells about competition, if someone talks about constipation, what comes first in the mind? Constipation means hard stools. That's the only thing generally what people think over constipation. But it's not the fact. As you said, it's a very healthy habit if you evacuate your system daily at least once. But it has to be evacuated completely, not an incomplete evacuation. Even incomplete evacuation is also a part of constipation or definition of a constipation. So the theory of what you said, evacuating or cleansing your system thrice a week is a false one. Why is this important? Because, as I said, I think most probably many of us have heard the fastest and shortest route through the men's heart is through down his throat. It was just a phrase to impress a man through food. But when we think about or when we talk about the health, it holds good for this also. Because down the throat lies the complete GI tract from which the food is ingested, digested, assimilated, and absorbed. So, when we talk about immunity, also, it depends upon the health of a gut.
Mm.
The one who have a healthy gut is a person who is completely healthy. So, complete immune system depends upon this system. Even though we have many systems in our body like circulatory, respiratory, this GI system is the pillar of the base for other systems. Because when it, as we said, when we talk about immunity, immunity comes through food, from food which we eat. Okay? So if the system is not clear, if the waste product is not thrown out the body regularly or daily, what happens? So just take an example or imagine you have a house. If you don't clean up your house and you'll be adding all decorative things, would it be look healthy or clean? Definitely no. So you have to dust your home, your living space regularly, daily. Then only it will look healthy also and it look clean also. The same thing it holds good to our body also. So before uh, taking up food, it has to be seen that the previous food which is not digested or the waste product which is already started accumulated in the body, it has to be thrown out from the body. Because having this waste product in our system, if we go on consuming any sorts of nutritional things, it can't be absorbed properly. It completely disturbs the intestine cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So clearing gut daily, at least once daily, that too completely, it's very important. If not once, some people will be having a habit of evacuating 2 days once.
Mm.
But in 2 days once, if they evacuate completely, then it's not an issue. If there is, and even though The people are evacuating the system, but incompletely. Even that is a problem.
Hmm.
So constipation and digestion, it has a very vast definition.
Sure.
Okay.
Tell me something, doctor. There are some people who say, the moment I wake up, I use the bathroom. Some say it happens 3 hours or 4 hours later. Some say that I use the washroom, say in the afternoon or in the evening or at night, or there are no fixed timings. What would you have to say for this kind of a tendency?
Yeah, this completely depend upon the diet and the lifestyle. Actually, the healthy habit is to evacuate within the 30 minutes of waking up.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's well and good whoever have the practice of uh, using bathroom as they soon get up, or
Hmm.
else at least 1 hour. The maximum duration is the 1 hour. Those who are having the habit of passing the stools late days, like
Hmm.
in the afternoon or night, it will definitely it affects on their health. So it has to be corrected as early as the possible.
Understood. Now, my second question to you, doctor, is that we've said this time and again that the headquarter of most diseases is an unclean colon, right? So, if you can tell us a little bit about the link of constipation or an unclean colon with diseases like diabetes, hypertension, blood pressure, PCOS, thyroid, cholesterol, acidity, etc.
Yes. Our Ayurvedic science always talks about three pillars of life. That is, one is ahara, second one nidra, and third one is brahmacharya. When somebody practices healthy lifestyle in these three aspects, when they follow discipline in these three aspects, definitely they are going to have a very long life. So it has clearly mentioned the importance of food over here. Among the three pillars, the first pillar is the food. So when it comes for the food, whatever the undigested food is there, how it you might wonder, or you might have a question like how the food can be undigested. Even that also depends upon the dietary habits. Okay, so all the diseases starts from the gut only.
Hmm.
Hmm? As you told, it is the root cause, or it's the home for a disease.
Hmm.
So in Ayurvedic science, we explain it as a ama.
Hmm.
Ama means it's an undigested food particle which remains in the system and causes the blockages of all the doshas, and it causes imbalances in three doshas, which again cause imbalance in health.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so as I said, all this dietary, lifestyle disorders, metabolic disorders like thyroid,
Hmm.
hypertension, diabetes, each and everything is related to this constipation. For
Hmm.
example, if you're under stress, okay, when there is a stress, there will be a lot of cortisol hormones producing in our body. Okay, this cortisol hormone will be there normally, and it's responsible to take away all the stress factors and the toxins from the body. But when there is over stress, it gets confused and it doesn't know what to do. It starts sending wrong signals to the brain. And that at that level, the HCl inside your stomach starts getting produced enormously. Either you might end up with the hyperacidity or you
Hmm.
might end up with the constipation. From
Hmm.
this, so when there is malabsorption, depending upon your physical constituency and depending upon your hereditary functions, some might get hypertension, some might get diabetes, and some might get thyroid problem also. Even though the thyroid is a gland which controls the complete metabolism of the body, it again depends upon the type of food we take.
Hmm.
So when there is stress and when there is a constipation or any, not exactly constipation, when there is any derangement in the digestion, the food which is consumed, as we all know, it has to go undergo process to get the energy.
Hmm.
Energies, it has to just break down into, it will break down into cellular level as a glucose, protein, and all. So the type of food we take, when we take large of carbohydrates and starch, there will be enormous of glucose content in that. That glucose get into the bloodstream. It won't be able to process further to transform into energy. So this glucose start streaming and start circulating in all over the body, causing diabetes. In the same way, when there is a pressure for a brain to take care of these things, like what to do. Okay, someone has taken some food inside. This organ, the stomach, is to produce digestive enzymes, which has to take care of the absorption and division of this absorption waste product. When there is a confusion over the body, inside the body, there will be a pressure created, unnecessary pressure will be created in the brain. This in turn create pressures over the circulatory system, that is the heart. It leads to hypertension. Okay.
Hmm.
And as said, hypothyroid or thyroid dysfunction, it might be hyper or hypo. Hypo means where this gland is unable to produce enough of thyroxine hormone. Hyper means where this gland is producing over and over of this hormone. This thyroid gland is very much important for a person's metabolism.
I think there's been a little drop that has happened. So until we have Dr. Bhavana back, you can keep sending in your responses and we can keep taking them up. Please do type in any query that you may have and we'll be taking them up. Okay?
Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, yeah, I was talking about the thyroid issues. This thyroid gland, this thyroid hormone, it controls each and every metabolic action in our body. It controls each and every system. It might be growth, it might be reproductive system, it even takes controls the nervous system also. So if there is a disorder in your lifestyle or in your diet, definitely will end up with the hyperfunction of this thyroid. So in brief, we can say each and every disease has a common problem, that is undigested food, what we call as ama, or in ordinary language we can call it as a constipation.
Understood. So, yes, the root cause of all major diseases, like we have seen, Dr. Bhavna has given a very beautiful explanation about how all of them are interconnected with ultimately your colon not being clean. Uh, Doctor, the other issue that people who have or who suffer from constipation regularly is issues of piles, hemorrhoids, fissures, ulcers. So, what are some of the causes and how can they be prevented and what is the remedy? So, let's say there are people who are already suffering from these aspects. What can also be a remedy to this?
Okay. As I said, hemorrhoids, fissures, ulcers, it's all because of this constipation only. Because when there is constipation, as I said earlier, constipation in general language means hard stools or difficulty in defecation or painful defecation. So when somebody forces for defecation, when somebody forces themselves to pass out the stools, it will create pressure in the rectal region, anal region, which it can turn up with either with the fissure. Fissure means there will be a crack, okay, crack in the anal region, or sometimes it might just bulge up the veins over there, which is present over there. It can turn up to hemorrhoids, and there will be even fistula also, which is just an opening. You will be having, other than anal opening, there will be another opening which where the stool started coming out, which is not a healthy one. And ulcers, when there is too much of secretion of HCl inside the stomach, and when we do not take proper food in time, this HCl start eating up the intestinal lining or the stomach lining or intestinal membranes. This causes ulcer.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
So, so if you want to all these can be prevented. It's not like that only the after taking medicine only it can be cured. This can be prevented. This can be prevented through healthy lifestyle, like adopting a healthy diet, regular exercise, stress-free life, taking rest properly at proper time. All this helps in keeping you healthy.
And just interlinking this particular aspect with my next question, what are some of the reasons for why we see so many people facing constipation these days? Because up until a few years ago, I remember maybe my grandparents' time, we didn't hear of these issues all that much, right? Why is it that in modern times these issues have increased?
Yes, the main and basic reason is stress. Each and every person is undergoing stress in some or the other way, and very sophisticated life,
Hmm.
and even the mental health also.
Hmm.
So just being strong physically is not enough. You have to be strong enough mentally also to keep yourself healthy. As I said, when there is stress, it can cause either constipation or diarrhea or even ulcer.
Hmm.
Okay. So stress is the basic cause. And apart from this, in this environment or in this generation, we all are like attracted to the fast foods. That is the second cause, second main cause. So we can see almost this constipation or gastric issues in almost all ages. Even the newborn baby has a gastric issue. Even we can see the same problem in the newborn baby also. So it's all completely depend upon the food we take and the balance of stress, how we balance the stress.
Does hereditary play a role in this?
Not at all. Not at
Not
all.
at all.
Not
Oh,
at all.
okay. So it wasn't if like my parents had constipation, I would also have constipation. There's nothing like that.
Definitely no. Because I told you, it completely, see, even as food differs, even the body constituents also differs. What we say as prakriti. Each and
Hmm.
every person different from one another. As
Understood.
if we talk in a modern science like genes, in
Hmm.
Indian science we talk as prakriti.
Hmm.
So depending upon the prakriti also, in a home we'll be having a three or four members, and it's not necessary that all the four persons have the same prakritis. Some might be of vata prakriti, some might be of pitta, and some might be of a combination of those. But when the food is prepared, it might suit to some, it might doesn't suit to some.
Hmm.
You have to balance over there. Okay. So the type of food we choose,
Hmm.
it depends. It's not a heredity. It's
Hmm.
completely depends upon the type of body we have
Hmm.
and the
Hmm.
digestion power. Each
Hmm.
and every person differs in digestion power depending upon again this constituency.
Understood. So I understand that people with high digestion or high, digestive fire can digest food better and will also have less uh, problems with constipation. Am I right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
So
These are all typically pitta prakriti persons.
okay. So is digestive fire, let's say, if I have a low digestive fire, can that be attributed to my parents or no?
No, they
Okay.
differ. See,
Okay.
as we talked about genes, even this can happen. Either of your parents might be pitta prakriti. So
Mm-hmm.
one of your parent may resemble you.
Hmm. Understood. Okay, so that's a very good input because constipation has nothing to do with hereditary. Uh, it just purely depends on what kind of prakriti or constitution, like doctor mentioned, you are, and you should have foods compatible to that so that you're not
Yes.
falling prey to constipation. Okay, so we have a live question coming in. Can constipation mean small and tapered stools? Also, smelly stools and passing gas is an indication of normal constipation or any other condition. So basically, doctor, here the gentleman is actually brings up a very good question. The kind of
Hmm.
stool, the consistency of the stool. What
Yes.
consistency should be a good stool? And he also adds to that about the smell of the stools and also passing of the gas. Is that an indication that your tummy, in fact, is not clean?
Yes, definitely. If your stool is like differs from usual smell, and if your stool start floating, then it's a sign of indigestion, and it's a sign that is the food is not getting digested properly. The ama or the mucus getting mixed with your stool, and it is causing floating. Even if you can test yourself. Okay, when you flush out, if it get flushed completely in one flush, then means your digestion is proper. It should
Okay.
not stink. It should not stink or stick. Okay,
Hmm.
and even passing the gas is not a problem. But if you have this practice repeatedly, along with flatulence or bloating sensation, then it is a problem.
Understood. What about burping? Does that have anything to do with constipation?
Yeah, it's not exactly the constipation, but it is related to digestion.
Digestion.
Yeah,
Understood.
burping is an indication that your stomach is full.
Okay. The next question comes in. What is constipation? What is normal and healthy waste removal? When can we say we have constipation and problem in gut and digestion? So, dear viewer, I think this question has already been answered. You may want to scroll back to the start of this session. The doctor has already spoken about what it means to be constipated and what is the correct frequency and time interval that you should be taking to evacuate your stool. Dr. Bhavna, am I right? There's nothing more to add to that, right?
Yeah, no, nothing. Yes, it has been
Okay.
answered. Yes.
All right. So, participants, please do keep typing in, and we'll be taking your live questions. I'm waiting for more live questions to come in. Um, the next aspect I'm going to be talking about, doctor, is with respect to uh, constipation and its preventive and curative measure that can be naturally done at home. Also, how do we know that our constipation can be dealt with just with home remedies, or that we need to visit a doctor and seek some guidance?
As we said, constipation, cause for constipation may be different. One is improper diet. Second one is lack of uh, what do you say, fluid intake, and lack of physical exercise. And it might be even due to side effects of some long-term medication, like people who are taking even nutritional supplements like calcium, iron, or beta blockers. All these people suffer from constipation. Okay, and it might be a secondary symptom to other underlying diseases like hyperthyroid, renal failure, colon cancer, or even hypertension or diabetes because of the medication. So these are the causes. Once we know the cause, exact cause for the constipation, the first and foremost thing is nidana parivartana. That is, you have to just keep away the causative factors. So the secondary factors to the disease and long term medication, it all happens because of the this medicines. But as I said, first thing is dietary habit. When we keep on having only carbohydrate foods, especially at night, it dries up the intestine. This causes constipation. So first thing is avoid the causative factor. Drink proper water, like proper water intake should be there. Minimum 3 liters, and that too depends upon your constituency. Again, vaguely and generally they tell like 3 to 6 liters is okay for anyone to have a water, but again it depends upon each individual's body type. And apart from that, third one is regular exercise. When regular exercise keeps you healthy, it makes the food ingested digest get digested easier. So apart from these three, when you talk about the diet, please add fiber in your food. Fiber, it can be both soluble and insoluble. Soluble fibers will be kept in the corn and oats. Insoluble will be having through raw vegetables. Okay. This fiber food add bulkiness and add mass to your stool, which helps the stool to get pass away easily. Okay. If there is no bulkiness, when there is no bulk in the stool, it can't be moved easily.
Hmm.
So fiber is very much important.
Hmm.
It can be, as I said, it can be either through millets or vegetables, oatmeal,
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
Okay.
You just mentioned there, doctor, just to intercept here. You just mentioned a while ago that nutritional supplements can also cause constipation. You mean like the general calcium tablets or the vitamins tablets that we take?
Especially calcium and iron supplements, that too allopathic medicine, not the natural ones,
Okay.
because all those are chemical based.
Right, right. So we must not be having these allopathic supplements that usually we're asked to take if
Yes, yes,
we don't
yeah.
want
As far
calcium.
as possible, nutritional deficiency should be corrected through diet only.
I see. So it's not always a good idea, or it's never a good idea to take nutritional
It's never a good
supplements.
idea. It's never a good idea.
Oh, that's very interesting. I see. Okay, great. Yes, doctor, please continue.
Yeah. So I was talking about the diet. The second thing is hydration. Even hydration keeps your gut smooth and it helps the stool to pass easily and it makes the stool softer. Either if there is a very minimal liquid intake, fluid intake, that too, water, it dries up the system. It dries up the intestine, which causes hard stools. Okay. When we talk about fluid, it's not only limited to water intake. So, to keep your digestion healthy, it's better to have a practice of drinking buttermilk at least once a day, that too in the afternoon. So, better to avoid milk or curds at night time. So, this was one simple precautionary measures. In spite of all these things, in spite of having regular diet, healthy diet, regular exercise, some might again face the problem. This might be because of stress or lack of sleep. Even the sleep is very much important for a person to have a healthy gut. Because if the sleep is impaired or if you don't get adequate sleep, the brain won't get adequate oxygen. When there is no oxygen in the brain proper, it might send wrong signals to your other organs where the hormones or the enzymes will be produced either in less or more.
Hmm.
If the enzymes are produced more and there is no proper food at that time, we'll end up with the ulcer. When there is lack of production of enzymes and we have more food, we'll end up with the constipation.
Hmm. So,
So
doctor,
this was about the.
just to summarize what you spoke about buttermilk. You spoke
Hmm?
about having water, but also not just water, but water content, water-rich foods, right? And you would say the
Yes.
liters water because usually, the perception is that if you have more water, you will, be able to keep constipation at bay. So what you are saying is that the water intake should be dependent on the person's needs and requirement. Not every person may need the same quantity of water to keep constipation at bay. Am I right?
Yes. It depends upon completely each individual's body's constituency.
Okay.
If
And the third
Vata
aspect,
Prakriti person who is very lean, yes. Okay. If a Vata Prakriti person goes on drinking water enormously,
hmm
then his intestine will definitely get dried up. And if Kapha Prakriti person drinks more water, then he'll end up with the diarrhea.
hmm So it's important that you know your constitution and then you even consume
Yes,
water according to that. Interesting.
yes,
And the third aspect, doctor, that you spoke about was consuming foods which are fibrous in nature. So you spoke about corn,
Hmm.
you spoke about starch also. Can you give us some more examples of fibrous foods?
Yes. As I mentioned about buttermilk, it's a probiotic. Okay. What is probiotic means it's a natural enzyme which is present in the intestine, which helps our body to absorb the nutrients. Okay. There are some food which enhances this property. The best food is buttermilk or yogurt, but most of the people are now lactose allergies.
Hmm.
Those they can't even smell the buttermilk smell. Okay. For them, custard apple is very good, oatmeal is good, banana, spinach, watermelon, apple, and avocado. These are acts as probiotic factors, which is very much essential for nutrition absorption and digestion also.
All right. Great. And what about consuming refined foods like our regular white rice vis-a-vis, say, millets or other whole grains?
Compared to millets and this rice and all, whole grains and millets are far better than white rice. If you
Hmm.
opt for unpolished rice, that is raw rice, that is good because it contains starch and fiber both in it. The polished one, that white rice, you will have only the starch content, all the fiber will be removed from that, and this might cause constipation also. Not only constipation, any sorts of digestion problem. Even
Understood.
though wheat is a fiber,
Hmm.
it can't be consumed from everybody anywhere. Again, it
Hmm.
depends upon the region. We in India, we have different region, different climate, and different types of food habits. So North Indians are accustomed to wheat, South Indians are accustomed to rice. So depending upon the region and climate also, we have to choose the food.
Understood. Comes in a live question. After passing stools, I feel some sounds in my stomach. May I know the reason?
Yeah, that is because I think you're consuming more of food which provokes the vata, which means which is causing flatulence. It may be just like peas or potato or light food like rice flakes, dry and rough foods. So better to add some oil based, that is cow's ghee is very good and it's very effective and it's very healthy. So avoid all these dry foods at night time, which might cause this gas in your stomach.
The next question is, how do I know the completeness of passing stool? So if I've passed the stool, how do I know I've completely evacuated my bowels?
After passing the stools, you will be still have a feel that there is something inside left in you. You won't
Hmm.
feel light. You won't feel light and you won't feel hungry on time if there is stool particles inside still present inside your stomach or in your intestine. You won't feel light and your even this flatus starts smelling. That's the reason, because there will be growth of microorganisms inside and growth of bacteria over there. Because of that only you'll be having smell. You'll feel light below your stomach also, not only completely bodily, below your stomach also you feel light. That is the proper indication of proper digested food.
And also sense of satisfaction, I think.
Yeah,
Just
satisfaction will be, yes, yes, yes.
yeah. Okay, great. So, okay, so the next question talks about what is the solution for constipation when we talk about medications.
Yeah, it depends upon the type of medication you're taking, or it depends upon the type of disease you're going through. So, depending upon that, we have to take care of constipation, because hypertensive patient can't be treated as like diabetic patient. Because in our system, like Ayurvedic system, we have so many remedies. When we talk about home remedies, you can just go with jeera or ajwain water, which is safe for both the people, either hypertensive or uh, diabetic patient. Most of the people are hypertensive and diabetic. Almost we can find two or three members in each and every family. So
Hmm.
better, depending upon your underlying disease, choose the food. And apart from that, whatever you consume, if you feel that you're facing problem of constipation, just make a habit of drinking jeera water or decoction made of jeera and ajwain. That will take care of your health.
Great. So jeera and ajwain concoction. The next question is, could you also please elaborate on the case of dysentery or light dejection on a daily basis? What can be the cause for that? He also follows a yogic diet to a large extent.
As I said, dysentery is again there is a two definition. Either it might be complete loose stools or frequent motion, frequent evacuation of or frequent defecation. Okay, if there is a frequent defecation, then it has again here the doshas will be have to be corrected. Okay. So you have to look into it that it has to be cleared at once.
Hmm.
And again, the cause for dysentery would be the food which are very sour in taste, which, which can cause acidic reaction inside the body, like citrus fruits. We have to avoid that. We have to avoid spicy things. And even the uh, one medicine like IBS. I think you have people have heard of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. Even that is even dysentery comes under that also. So whatever you eat, it won't stay longer. As soon as you eat or you consume food, there will be urge throughout. Even that is also a type of dysentery. So depending upon the cause, we have to treat.
The next question is, if a okay, can we soak methi seeds and jeera at night in water and drink in the morning? Niyati
Yeah.
Jain.
Yes, you can.
This is good for cleansing the
Yes.
stomach.
Yeah.
Okay. How many times can we take enema in a week?
No need to take enema in a week. Just correct through diet. If you're facing with chronic constipation, then 15 days once is good, not a week.
Okay. If a person is doing yoga and meditation due to which sleep quota reduces, does it cause constipation because of less sleep? So I think doctor has answered this, that if you have less sleep, then it means less oxygen and the brain is sending the wrong signals. So yes, it does cause constipation. And if a person is doing yoga and meditation to which sleep reduces, so I would like to take a maybe answer this for you. Yoga and meditation reduces sleep quota because your energy system is activated, right? So we are going beyond the annamaya kosha, which is the food body. So your energy system gets activated, and because of that, your sleep quota reduces. So that is not a problem. It's actually very healthy for you. Even with less sleep, I've always mentioned this, I don't sleep all that much, but it doesn't have an adverse effect on you because yoga and meditation are already generating a lot of things which are causing overall well-being in your system. So reduced sleep quota because of yoga and meditation is fantastic and it should be kept up. But if there is reduced sleep because of other reasons, maybe the doctor just spoke about so many lifestyle reasons. We also have people who tell us that we work in shifts, right? Late nights, working at nights, sleeping in the day. So these also creates a little bit of a confusion when it comes to your bodily responses. Doctor, is there something you'd like to add to this question?
Definitely. If you're following yoga, means if you're doing yoga and meditation regularly, then it won't be a problem for you if you sleep for a shorter period. It's not about the quantity of a sleep, it is about the quality of sleep. So once you wake up, if you feel fresh and light, then you are healthy. If you have a hangover, then definitely you'll end up with some digestive problem or something else. So if you're a follower of yoga and meditation, And if you're following properly, then it should not be an issue for anyone.
Sometimes we have to, again, a live question. Sometimes we have to evacuate the system twice or thrice in the morning in an hour's time to get rid of the entire stool. Is that okay? Again, I think this is something that a lot of people face. In the morning, after say 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you have a need to keep easing yourself. Is that okay?
It's not okay. It's just a signal of your impaired digestive system. As I told earlier, complete evacuation is important. You have to just pass the stools once, completely clear.
Now, doctor, we've spoken about the natural foods. You've spoken about so many of them. Let's say there are people suffering from constipation. What are some of the curative foods that can be consumed to counteract constipation?
See, the preventive foods acts as curative foods also. Okay. So apart from that, which is very easily available, which is very easily reachable, which is there in our kitchen, as I said, those would be dhania. It's a mixture of dhania, jeera, and ajwain again. Okay, so it doesn't harm any person, and it's very safe for all ages. If we are talking about home remedies, and drinking and keeping a habit of drinking warm water after each meal, especially if you consume any fat food. If you drink warm or hot water, then also there will be no digestion problem. And consuming water with lemon or plain water in empty stomach, like as soon as you get up, it also helps to evacuate your system completely.
When you talk about consuming water, people ask us consuming water, and there's generally a tendency of consuming water between meals, which is not recommended. So, after food, how much gap should you leave to consume water?
Minimum 1 hour.
Okay. Even if it's warm water or hot water, they should be 1 hour?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, leaving about an hour's gap after your meals, even if you're consuming warm or hot water, should be maintained. Is it advisable to take coconut oil with triphala to relieve constipation, and how often can it be taken? Question, live question.
Okay. Better not to mix coconut oil and triphala. Triphala can be taken either with the honey as we are talking about constipation, better it is consumed with warm or hot water. If you want to take coconut oil, take it separately. Triphala, when taken in empty stomach, it has a different reaction, and when you take it after dinner, it has a different action. So depending upon the type of constipation, whether it's acute or chronic. If you're a chronic constipation and if you're obese, better to soak that triphala in water overnight and make a decoction of the same thing next day morning and drink it in empty stomach. Both the purpose will be solved. It helps to relieve constipation also, and it also helps to uh, take care of your weight also.
What about having coconut oil and consuming coconut oil, even that's believed to relieve constipation?
Not exactly constipation. This coconut oil acts as a pH balancer. It it produces alkaline property in the body. So as we all know, the time or the duration of sleep will be minimum 6 to 8 hours. So all these during these hours, our intestine will be empty, the acid will be started secreting. So if we take either water or lemon water or coconut oil empty stomach, it helps to balance the pH value inside the body, which is very much important. Otherwise, our body could turn up to acidic and we might end up with a hyperacidity or ulcer. This is the reason behind having a coconut oil or a lemon water in the morning. because it balances the pH level.
How much coconut oil should we take, and can this be consumed every day?
Yeah, it can be consumed every day. It's 5 ml to 10 ml maximum.
Okay. Doctor, some of the herbal remedies that you can suggest that can be made at home. You've already spoken about triphala. Is there anything else other than triphala? Maybe something around ghee or any other herbal decoctions that can be made as at home and consumed on a regular base?
Along with normal jeera, even this black jeera can be added. Even that is also easily available in the market. And the somph. So, and if you are too much constipated, then you can add little black pepper also. Almost all the spices, but to balance the acid, jeera, the quantity of the jeera should be more when compared to other. Or else you can just go with uh, single ingredient.
Okay. So in the morning, let's say I wake up and I'm unable to empty my bowels and I want to meet that target of emptying my bowels within the first 20 minutes or 30 minutes. What is that one thing that you would recommend which works? I understand you've spoken about lemon water, but other than lemon water, is there anything else that can be taken first thing in the morning? Empty stomach, triphala, of course. Other than that?
This castor oil. Castor oil is better. That
Castor oil.
really, yes, castor oil. Castor oil with warm water or with even with milk.
Okay. Early morning on an empty stomach, right?
Yes, yes.
But not every day or
Not
every day?
every day. Not every day. See, why I am not recommending to take any of the solution like it may be either home remedies or herbal remedies. You should not continue for a long time because it alters your natural physiological phenomena of your intestine.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every organ has its own function. If we keep on adding extra fuel in that, its natural tendency it will lose its natural tendency.
Mm-hmm.
We have to just you have to just push it. That's not. But to just active that gland or active that organ.
So lemon water can be consumed every day. Triphala, can that be consumed every day? Because there's a question
Yes,
coming in. It can be
yes,
consumed every day. Okay.
yeah,
Coconut oil also, just to maintain the
it
pH
can be.
balance, can be
Yes.
consumed every day. What about ghee consumption early in the morning if one consumes ghee on an empty stomach?
For acute constipation, it's okay.
Okay.
And those who have constipation along with cramps, or somebody mentioned about like there are some sounds after evacuating also, that can be relieved through ghee.
Okay. Again, can be consumed every day.
Yes, it can be consumed every day.
Castor oil is the only thing that should not be consumed every day. And what
Yes,
is the frequency that you would suggest, doctor, for castor oil?
once in fortnight or once in a month.
Once in 15 days or once in a month. So castor oil should
Yes.
not be consumed every day. Other than that, the remedies that we just spoke about can be consumed every day. The next question is okay. So the question is on laxatives. Whoever's asked this question, we're just going to be talking about laxatives in a while. So we'll be flashing this question at that point. Proceeding. The next segment is about laxatives. So, as mentioned, about 76% of the people on an average report consuming laxative, some kinds of laxative, whether it is herbal or whether it is over the counter, whether it is something that you're doing at home. So, doctor, I'd like for you to address to these people as to uh, firstly, is laxative consumption okay? If not, what are the side effects? And if one is reliant on laxatives, what are the kind of laxatives which are okay and conducive to the system and which will not be very addictive or which will not make you very dependent on them? Can you please dwell on this?
Yes. So, like when we are in need in laxatives, when there is chronic constipation, and as I said before, constipation is the outcome of improper digestion. When we talk of digestion, we have to consider even the liver also. Okay. So when we take a food which can keep our liver healthy, then there is no need of taking any laxatives because it is the main organ, it is the main motor of the GI system. If this motor is completely normal, it's functioning normal, and all this bile and all these digestive enzymes are produced in liver only. So if we keep this liver healthy, and it's not at all necessary to take a laxative, whatever the issue may be, whether they might having lifestyle issues or they might be having some other ailments like diabetes, hypertension, or thyroid, anything. First thing is we have to correct the liver here. So when we are talking of liver, the best and easiest food or easiest fruit we get is papaya. That is unripe papaya with honey. It activates liver and keeps the liver cells healthy. Once the liver is healthy, automatically the digestive enzymes will be released properly. And this, the papaverine which is in papaya also helps in digestion also, not only for releasing enzymes and keeping liver healthy, but it also acts on intestine.
Hmm.
So better to avoid laxatives only if there is chronic constipation due to some other ailments like some other medication from long-term medication, or as I said, even like in colon cancer or like in hemorrhoids. All these people faces constipation, and these people has to take laxatives because in hemorrhoids there will be complete blockage, and
Hmm.
even colon cancer also there will be no involuntary movement over there.
Hmm.
Even that blocks the canal.
Hmm.
So depending upon the underlying cause, we have to choose the laxatives. And it is very like unethic practice to have laxatives down daily basis. As I said earlier, it alters the physiological functioning of the intestine. It, we should allow our body to work on its own
Hmm.
without without impairing its original function.
So now taking up this individual's question, indigestion is a chronic problem for this person. Laxatives taken regularly, apparently he or she is taking laxatives regularly. Please tell the solution of 30 plus year old constipation, person suffering from constipation. What are the home remedies and herbal remedies for constipation? So again, if you can slightly scroll back, there are a ton of herbal remedies and natural remedies that was spoken to by the doctor. So you can review that. Dr. Bhavna, is there anything you'd like to add to this question?
Nothing actually. When they talking about chronic problem, as I said, we have to just focus on what is causing the problem. What is the cause for this chronic constipation? Have to just look onto it. Observe observe about your lifestyle, observe about your diet pattern, your sleep pattern. It can be corrected like that only.
Right. Um, does constipation cause urticaria or any skin disease, and how to cure it?
Definitely, it causes skin disease.
Okay.
It, urticaria, yes, urticaria. It's because of indigestion only. It's because of improper diet.
Hmm.
Okay. And not only urticaria, even leprosy is also outcome of indigestion.
Oh, okay. So again, if you have to know about what are some of the natural remedies, you can just review this particular footage, and there are a lot of natural remedies, herbal remedies that have been spoken about. You can try implementing those, and I'm hoping you'll get a respite from this. For constipation, dried plums, do they help with bowel movement?
Definitely, but it has to be soaked. If you dried plums, has to be soaked. And if you're talking about for dry fruits, it is better to have dry fruits separately. It should not be mixed with fresh fruits.
So please don't mix dry fruits with fresh fruits. That's a very good tip that's coming. I have constipation, and sometimes when I pass out the stool, I get bad pain in my back waist area. Can you please tell me what could be the reason?
Yeah, it could be because of the blocked vata, what we call apana vayu, which is seated in the intestine and which is very much important for the evacuation of stools. If it gets blocked over there, this constipation definitely will cause low back pain.
Doctor, there was a question about anema. Anema being taken regularly at home. Is that advisable or not? And if yes, how and when can it be taken? And what is some of the Ayurvedic ways of taking anema?
See, enema is a very large aspect. Generally, enema we call it as basti. Basti is one of the panchakarma, and we recommend panchakarma practice of panchakarma only once in 6 months. If you're planning to take panchakarma or basti regularly, and if you're taking and basti even this regular enema, it can't be taken for a single day when it comes of panchakarma. Okay, it has to be planned for some duration like 8 days 16 days depending upon the problem, and if the constipation is the only problem, again depending upon the age and depending upon the underlying cause, we have to take up this. So taking enema regularly at home, it's not advisable, and even if you're taking also, it's better to go at least only once in a month.
Understood. So anema once a month and panchkarma, you said once in 6 months, right?
Yes, yeah.
All right. The next aspect is going to be about constipation among children. Again, we see that there is a significant rise, and we see this issue being very rampant among children, as you also rightly mentioned. The statistics say that almost one of every 20 visits that a child makes to the doctor would be related to constipation. The prevalence rates among children who are suffering from constipation can go up to as high as 30%, and about 35% of all visits to the pediatric uh, person is related to constipation. So can you tell us what are some of the dietary measures that can be taken to help with this condition among children of all ages?
Yes. So as I said earlier, gastric issues or even the constipation can be seen in infants also. Why this is happening? It's just because of the improper food habits of a mother. It completely starts from the pregnancy. Okay, the type of diet they consume during the pregnancy, it definitely get carries to the children also. Okay, and after that, apart from lifestyle, because nowadays almost every children is very prone to this fast food, as I said, like they are fond of pizzas, burgers, which are made up of maida, which is more carbohydrates and starch, and this is the reason. And the spicy food, this is the reason behind the constipation and gastric issues in the children. And many of the children are like they have got lactose allergy. Maybe they have developed, maybe they have developed it. It's not because it's like allergy is different from like liking also. Many of the children doesn't like to have buttermilk, doesn't like to have yogurt, and again it completely depends upon the dietary habit. And even fruits also, we hardly see kids having raw fruits or raw vegetables in their food or in their diet. So eating too much of sweets or even sugar and eating too much of sweets at night especially, these are the problem causing for the constipation in children.
Any diet recommendations other than the ones that you've already given that you'd like to specially give to the children?
As I said, again, you have to go with fiber only, but depending upon the children's taste,
Hmm.
because they are all growing, they're in the growing phase.
Right.
Okay. So nutrition is very much important here. So better to add at least one meal with one raw fruit or one raw vegetables.
Okay,
Only dietary changes can help children to get rid of this constipation.
understood. The next live question is, so you just spoke about raw papaya and honey. Can you elaborate the constipation of raw papaya and honey in adults?
Yeah, it can be taken from any age. As I told you, it's very helpful for a liver function, and even if people consume alcohol, also it will take care to repair that liver cells. So it is very useful. The unripe papaya with honey. You have to take just a bowl of unripe papaya, soak it with honey for a while, hardly 10 to 20 minutes, and you can just have it in empty stomach,
What should be the portion of this particular meal?
like 100 grams,
100
like a
grams.
bowl. Yeah.
So I hope that answers it for you. Can you please talk about Vata dosha? What exactly is Vata dosha?
Yeah. When we talk about tridoshas, it is the functional aspects of a body of each and every person. So physiology, what we call as physiology. This physiology is based on this tridoshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata is that factor which is responsible for movement, which causes movement in our body. Without this Vata, the other two doshas are helpless and like it's just like a lame person. So this vata is of five types which is situated in our body, and samana vayu is a type of vata which is very much necessary and which helps and which aids in digestion. It is seated in stomach, and this apana vayu being seated in basti or bladder or intestine, large intestine, helps in evacuation. So when there is disturbance in our GI tract, these two vata get disturbed. Because if there is disturbance in samana vayu, the food doesn't get digested, and when there is indigestion, the undigested material stays in the intestine itself, and it can't be removed properly through the time, because again there will be effect on apana vayu. The apana vayu also get deranged.
Question is, this is coming back to the children's segment. The live question says, my 15-year-old son is, he's lean and he's active into sports. What food can be consumed in the morning which are nutritious and which are rich, but are of small form factor? How can a cross country runner have better healthy food habits for digestion and avoid constipation or irregular bowel movements? So, this child is already suffering from irregular bowel movement.
As I said earlier, depending upon the age and depending upon the region, you have to choose the food. So when it comes for breakfast, it should be very moderate. Better to go with a bowl full of either fresh fruits, or even you can go with smoothies, oatmeals, corns. Dry cereals are very much good for breakfast compared to other breakfast. So anything in the form of dried cereals, like as I said, corn, maybe oatmeal, anything. That will be very small in proportion also and nutritional also.
Can children take trifla?
Depends upon the age, preferably after 12 years. And if there is a issue below 12 years, depending upon that, like triple, as I said, it's not only laxative, it acts on other system also. It can be given.
What should the quantity be to remedy constitution?
Uh, Between age of 7 and 12, it has to be 2 to 3 grams maximum. And for our children between age group of 12 and 16, it should be hardly 3 to 5 grams, and 15 and above 5 grams,
And adults can consume how much?
up to 10 grams, 5 to 10 grams.
Next question. My 7-year-old boy has a stomach ache mostly in the morning after some workout or exercise. What should I do?
I think it just because of the cramp, you just massage with any of the oil, either castor oil or coconut oil or olive oil, that will give relief from the stomach ache.
Coming onto the next segment, Doctor, you've already spoken about a lot of the changes, but if you can just add and maybe formally put out, in brief, some of the lifestyle changes that can be incorporated on a daily basis to regularize the bowel movement.
Yes. The first thing is you have to get up early. Okay. After that, within 20 minutes or half an hour, you have to try to evacuate. It can't happen in a single day. It takes time. It has to come through practice only. And after getting up, within 3 hours of your waking time, you have to consume your breakfast. And breakfast should be very moderate. Okay? Breakfast should contain those foods which can cool your acid level. That is, all alkaline fruits or alkaline food should be consumed for breakfast. All acidic food should be consumed between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Because at this time, even in the environment and in your body, the pitta dosha, what we call, will be very active. So whatever you consume, it's very easy for your body to get it digested. So in between this, maintain or practice regular exercise. This exercise, when you do it regularly according to your strength, it helps to take out the toxins. And when the toxins are out, and when we, as we observe, when we do yoga or when we do exercise, we'll be holding our breath and there will be some pressure over stomach and intestine. This helps to evacuate. You have to practice this. Your regular exercise is also very much important. And sleep. Try to go to bed at least by 10 or before 10, because your organs start working at night after 10 when you are at rest. If you're awake late night, again there will be impaired in secretions of enzymes and secretions of some hormones also. Even this cause so many uh, ailments. So these are some lifestyle which has to be changed. When we talk about diet, as I said earlier, fiber diet, liquid, and add buttermilk. If not buttermilk, the best substitute for buttermilk will be avocado, apple, custard apple, watermelon. Okay? And when we are talking about the vegetables, just keep it in mind the tomato, cucumber, and especially the water containing vegetable should not be consumed after sunset. If people are having a habit of eating salad, vegetable salad at night, just change it. You can have it in the morning, you can have it for a lunch or before lunch, but not for evening snacks or dinner. You can have fruits, but not cucumber and tomato.
Uh, Coming on to some of the best times to consume food. So, what is the ideal time to consume food in order to ensure that we have a good digestion?
As I said, breakfast should be consumed within 8 o'clock, 7 to 8 o'clock maximum. Okay. So what you choose for breakfast, that depends. If you're taking foods, better and best time is early morning only in empty stomach. And when we talk about lunch, it has to be consumed between 12 noon to maximum or 2 p.m., not more than that. And again at night, dinner should be consumed by 8 p.m.
Could you also talk about some of the foods that should be avoided in terms of their incompatibility, what foods should not go along what foods, because these days people just take a spread and they pick anything and eat anything which comes onto their plate. So what
Yes,
are some
yes, it's very important. It's a very important. As you said, when you go for some function or some celebration, we'll be having ice cream with halwa, which is very much wrong.
Hmm.
Okay, so the hot and cold food should not be mixed together. Hot means warm food and refrigerated food. If you are consuming curd rice or anything which is kept in refrigerated, you should not mix it up with the hot food. It might be dal, roti, or with rice and this rasam or rice dal, anything. Okay. One thing is hot and cold food should not be mixed. Okay. Then honey and ghee should not be mixed in equal proportion. Okay. Because so many medicines and so many even dishes also prepared using honey and ghee. You have to keep in mind the proportion should vary. If you're using honey for 5 ml, then you have to use ghee in a 10 ml or vice versa. Okay, this is the thing. And you should not consume dairy products with any of the non-veg. If you are a non-vegetarian and if you are having a non-veg today, keep in mind you don't take curds, buttermilk, or even milk along with this non-veg food. And fruits and vegetables should not be mixed. In fruits also, acidic fruits and alkaline fruits should not be mixed together as they mix with fruit salad. Acidic fruit should be consumed separately. Alkaline fruit should be consumed separately. Alkaline, the best time to consume alkaline fruit is morning. That is 7 a.m. After 10 a.m., you can consume acidic food, that is citrus fruits. As I told earlier also, do not mix dry fruits with fresh fruits. And do not mix boiled food with the raw food or boiled vegetables with the raw vegetables. You should not mix with that.
Is it okay to have fruits first and then salad? I understand you said don't mix fruits and salad together, right?
Yes.
So is it
There
okay to
should
have?
be there should be a gap, at least for 1.5 hours. If you are planning to have a fruit in the morning for a breakfast, plan the salad for a lunch.
Right. Life question: can a person suffering from chronic constipation for more than 20 years have a chance of colon related disease, and what are the symptoms that one needs to observe?
If the constipation is the only problem, then that too for more than 20 years, it might be because of improper function of your liver. You have to first check with the liver function. Okay. If you have a colon related disease, then there will be either like a dysentery problem or there will be blood stains with the stools. There will be RBCs going with the stools. That it has to be examined through lab only, and you'll be having pain, burning sensation in the rectal region. There might be even bleeding also. If the constipation is the only symptom, then it might be just only because of poor liver function.
In which of the five panchavayus digestion is best processed by the body?
In which of the sorry, my
Five panchavayus. Can that question please be flashed?
yeah, I can see. As I said, it's completely samana vayu. It's samana vayu which is responsible for the digestion, and it is seated in stomach area below navi.
You talked about alkaline and acidic foods. Can you maybe just name the alkaline foods and the acidic foods?
Yes. Alkaline foods or alkaline fruits are apple that are which are sweet in nature. Okay. And acidic fruits are citrus fruits, sour, which are sour in taste, which are very salty in taste, and which are very spicy. These are all alkaline fruit. Sorry, acidic foods.
any advice that you would give to aged people, because we understand as we keep aging the digestive fire becomes lesser and lesser, and it becomes difficult for the body to integrate the food. And I've seen people, who take churans, and they keep having, they keep increasing the quantity because the body is so dependent on it. So what advice will you give aged people, old people, when it comes to constipation?
Yeah. When we're talking about the age, it depends upon the doshas. As I said earlier, Vata dosha get aggravated or its function gets more stronger during old age in each and every person bias the constitution. Okay. This is the thing which makes them go lean, and the digestion power automatically get reduced, and the consumption will also be get reduced. Here, the old people or each person should first consider the quantity of food they take, because as they grow old, the digestion power automatically get diminished.
Hmm.
Okay, when there is no proper input, there will be no output also. But psychologically, they'll be having in their mind that there is no stool forming inside, and when there is no stool formation, they can't evacuate also. And without seeking advice, taking churn blindly is very harmful, because almost most of the churnas causes vata to aggravate, and it dries up the intestinal moisture even more rapidly.
Hmm.
So better, if you're healthy and if you're not undergoing any of this disease like hypertension or diabetes, any of the disease, and only constipation is the problem, just consider the type of food you're consuming and the quantity of food you're consuming. In spite of that, if you're facing constipation, then better you just modify your diet with adding buttermilk and some milk along with your food, which is very easy to digest.
Wonderful. Doctor, any passing remarks that you would like to give? Any notes on constipation from your end that you would like to give to our viewers?
Yeah. So all this time we talked about constipation like symptoms, but I think I just forgot or something. I don't know. I forgot to highlight about the function of the liver, because it's the main thing which has to be corrected over here. Okay. If your liver is healthy, if it's working properly, then there will be no issues of constipation. And again, constipation means it's not only, if it think of gastric or constipation, if you ask people, they say no, I'll pass the motion every day, it's not an issue. It's not about like passing a motion, it's about the absorption also.
Hmm.
So each and every problem starts from this. Without evacuating the waste product, without taking away the toxins from our body, we can't utilize the nutrition in the nutritious food. Even if we take whatever in whatever amount, that nutrition won't get absorbed properly.
What are some of the ways of having a healthy liver? Is it the same like what we've discussed so far in the session?
Yeah, apart from that, you have to avoid all these beverages, hot or cold, anything,
Hmm.
which directly cause harm to liver. And as I said, even the sleep also. This liver start function at night after 10 when the body is at rest. The enzymes getting starting released at that time. So
Hmm.
even late night awakening is also a primary cause for this.
Hmm. So tea, coffee, I would assume is not good.
Yes, yes,
Aerated drinks are not good.
not good. Hot drinks, everything.
Okay. Right. Anything else that we should be avoiding for making sure that our liver remains healthy?
Stress, the main thing.
Stress.
Yes,
So, yes, which is why meditation and yoga has been given so
yes,
much.
very important. Yes,
Right. So, thank you so much for all your questions, and we hope we've been able to answer quite a few of them. Uh, once again, this session becomes extremely important because we've said this repeatedly. An unclean colon is linked to so many issues, right? The doctor has spoken about, we've spoken about, Sadhguru has spoken about. So let's take this upon yourself. If you want to do something for your health, do this one thing. Today, as you go back, you try incorporating these recommendations and work towards keeping your colon healthy. You will see that most of your issues will be settled if you just pay enough attention to keeping your colon healthy. So, for keeping yourselves motivated and for keeping your other friends and family motivated, we're starting out a campaign called Colon Clean Campaign, hashtag Colon Clean Campaign. So you can, if you're in it with us in this movement, then you can send in your pictures and you can hashtag Colon Clean Campaign and you can mark us on it. We are hashtag Shloka, SHLLOKA. And please try spreading this wonderful session to as many people as you can so a lot of people can be benefited. I would like to fervently thank Dr. Bhavana, once again, a volunteer with us who's done everything with so much dedication, devotion, and selfless love that it's not only charmed the volunteering spirit, but it has been a huge help to so many people. A lot of the posts, a lot of the social media material that goes out and that will be going out is her contribution. Anything related to Ayurveda, you will see her contribution as a very significant element. So we earnestly thank you, Dr. Bhavana. And I would also like to thank all the co-hosts. So this particular session has been co-hosted on various platforms: Sadhguru Darshan, Sadhguru Healing the World, Sadhguru Shiva Yogi, Mahabharat TV, The Yogic Life. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing the platform. A huge shout out to all our volunteers without whom no program is possible. So I would like to thank the digital team, the digital marketing team, Digital Links, who volunteers for us. Thank you so much for all your services. Hani Akka, Abhay Anna, Gunjan Akka, Gitanjali Akka, all the very many volunteers who are working from other places in the world. Thank you all for your service and for your contribution. And lastly, thank you, dear viewers, for attending this session and taking one more step towards your well-being. Please continue to attend sessions like these. These are open to anyone and everyone. You can be a part of these sessions by subscribing to our channel, The Yogic Life. You can also be a part of our WhatsApp group. You can join us on Instagram and Facebook. We have the Signal and the Telegram links also. So you can join any of these platforms and you can avail all these programs and have all your friends and family be a part of this as well. So lots of good wishes. Be healthy, and thank you once again, Dr. Bhavana.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was very much honored to be part of this program. Thank you so much.
Pleasure and honor. Thank you.
Yes.
Namaskar.
Namaste.